the social part of it out. But I denied my reality for so long, and I didn't understand exactly what was going on in my life. I didn't care. I cared about getting high, and that's it. And it's amazing, every time I drive up here, I get that same feeling of what it used to be like when I came up here. And my story has gone to places that we're going to talk about, the highest of the high, the lowest of the low. Just like all of us, but we all have one more chance. And as I look around tonight, I realize that so many of us shouldn't be here, that we lost so many people out there. I've been the pallbearer at so many funerals. I have buried so many people in the 29 years since I come up here, and I understand, as I look around, how fortunate each and every one of us are to make it up here alive. And I often pondered the thought, why do we get one more chance? When my best friend died in my hands, overdosing. Why does he keep putting me in places like this? Because once we begin to find our gift, we find our purpose in life. But the only way I found my purpose was drinking everything, smoking everything, snorting everything, and ended up in a place like this many years ago. So, a little about my drinking. I grew up in New York City, went to high school out on Long Island. All right. And I grew up in the era with Quaaludes, and I don't know if you guys saw the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. I went to high school with those guys, and so those are my running guys growing up, and we were just out of control at a young age. My best friend lived across the street. His name was Pickles. And to tell you a little about him, Pickles used to drink Listerine out of a bottle, and he put his pants on with the zipper in the back. And I'm asking this guy for directions in life. Okay, this was my guy I looked up to. Last I heard, Pickles was pretty pickled, and it's amazing that he's still alive today. So I used to hang out at a place called The Mug, and they changed the name to The Shady after that. And if you had an AA medallion, you could walk in there, put it on the counter, and the guy would give you the first 2 drinks on the house. So pretty sad, you know? He had a stack of medallions in the back. And it shows you what happens. People say that if I go back out there, I can come back in. Well, I'm one of the guys that did relapse in this program. And let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody says. That door is not revolving. People say that you can go back out there and come in. I say bullshit. The reason I say that is because I know so many people went back out and didn't make it back in alive. That thought they can go out for one more drink, one more snort. And that's the way their lives would be, but they didn't get a chance to make it in here. So we sit here tonight and little gratitude comes over me to realize, yes, we are the few fortunate ones that get this. And when I say that prayer, when I sought the fellowship, I found my God and I found my soul. I found the essence of who I am, where I am, and what I am today. Growing up on Long Island, started using it at a real young age. You know, I liked anything. You had it, I got it, you know. I didn't like who I was inside. And I didn't like the way my life was. See, we had this big thing in my living room called alcoholism. And we were dancing around it. And I was watching people drinking, getting high around me. And eventually I realized that once I started drinking, I fit in. I didn't like the person I was at a young age. I heard a story recently from my mom that on my kindergarten pictures, she said, you went in and out 4 times to change your outfit. Now, 6, 7 years old, what kid is so unsure about himself at that age that I knew something was wrong? I graduated high school and I ended up going down to a school in South Florida, University of South Florida, played Division I basketball. I was loving life, you know. I was turned on to cocaine. I was turned on to a lot of good things. I met the nicest Colombian guys down there who kept offering to give me these bricks and tell me they'll come back in a couple of weeks. And if I did a really good job, they're going to show me how to carry it across into different countries. And I thought, wow, this is it, man. I found my people. These are some really good people, man. These guys are going to show me how to do all these different things, you know? But I still had that stuff going on inside of me. And I call it that alcoholic country radio station called K-Fuck. That one station is telling me I'm better than everyone. The other one says I'm not as good as anyone. And it's blasted in stereo and it's constantly coming at me. And it's hit me hard. And I graduated college by the grace of God. I say with a 3.2, but that was my blood alcohol level. Somehow made it back to New York. And I got a job working on Wall Street. And this is the early 80s. Had no idea what I wanted to do. Had a speech communication degree, minor in business, and I said, wow, this is going to be great. I get a job with a buddy of mine, and as much fun as it was, every day was a party. Every day, the drinking, the getting high, cocaine, and it escalated. My drug use had gotten to the point where it was so out of control. I was doing so well at the same time that I was hired by different firms as a sales manager. And if you had a client book at that time, they would take you to different companies and pay you a lot of money. And I did this for years, and eventually it got to the point I was losing my mind. I lived in Manhattan on the 21st floor of a building, and I'll never forget I had one foot in the window and one foot out. Because I hated the person that I had become. Because this disease of addiction is a disease of complete isolation and loneliness. And I've since learned that the only way to overcome that isolation and loneliness is to incorporate the first word of the 12 steps, the we. When I incorporate the we in this program, my life has completely changed. And I don't have to keep fighting these demons on a daily basis. But I didn't know that at the time. So they did an intervention on me, and being from New York, never been to the Midwest, they tell me that they're sending me on a one-way plane ticket up to sunny St. Paul, and they're going up to Center City, Minnesota. What? Where? Oh my God. And I'll never forget, I got off the plane, and there's these two guys at Carousel 14 at the airport. They're here to grab my bags, and I was so drunk, I couldn't even see these guys, and they were kind of leading me into the van. And I asked these guys, can we please get a slice of pizza? I've never been to Minneapolis. And these guys were pretty straight. They said, no, we're going to take you right up. We get in the van, fall out. I'm out cold. I wake up 45 minutes later, and we're getting off the highway, and I see a sign that says, Wyoming. I remember doing the geographical thing in school, but Minnesota, like, whoa, this is going to be a trip. And we come rolling in here. It was Labor Day weekend, September 1st, 1989, and I'm wearing a pair of ripped jeans, and I go into Ignatia, and this lady comes up to me and says, if you take those off, I'll sew them for you. And I said, oh, what's that going to cost? And she looked at me and she said, I'll do it for free. I said, I don't know people like you. People I've been running with, I don't know anyone like this. If I tell you she put this quilted thing on me, that was, I would have paid a ton for that. And then they put me in a unit there. And after 3.5, 4 days, the nurse came by. And I finally came out of it. I said, where have you been? She looked at me and says, for the last 3 days, you were balled up in a corner making farm animal noises. She said, I put the food under the door, somehow you're eating it. We're checking blood pressure and things like this. So then they send me down to Cronin Hall. And it's Labor Day weekend, everything's shut down. I've never been to a treatment facility in my life. I had no idea what to expect. Well, Labor Day weekend, these guys are all, everyone's gone. They're throwing a football, frisbee, a guy has a golf club. I'm like, oh shit, they sent me to a sports camp? I could do 30 days like that, rinse off, man, let's go. Monday morning, what happens? Amen. To the counselor's office, right? I walk in, and if I tell you, I'm a pretty big guy, but my counselor is a Native American guy, 6'9". I'm telling you, he was 420 pounds, if not any heavier. And he sticks his hand out like this and says, "John, tall white man." And I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "My name is John, tall white man." "Oh, John, tall white man is your name." I said, "That's an awkward situation, man." I'm ready to go off on this guy. My mind is going a million different directions. What to tell this guy, right? He looks at me and he says, "How much you been drinking?" Like any good alcoholic, I tell him I have a couple of beers on the boys on the weekend. He said, "That's funny. I talked to your family. They said you're drunk 8 days a week." So right then I had some real understanding of the truths in my life. How it works, which you read at every meeting you go to, it opens up, rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. And in the first paragraph to how it works, there's 3 references to honesty. I didn't know what honesty was. I've soon come to learn that honesty is no more than a command. You need to be honest. Why aren't you honest? You should always be honest. But that honesty leads us to a place called the truth. And there comes a moment of clarity in our recovery when God separates the lies from the truth. And we get to see what is and what's not. And that's when I had some real truths about my drinking and drugging. He said, "You might want to think about, after 2 weeks we're in there, think about extended care." And I'm thinking, extended care? I got a job on Wall Street. I'm doing great. Life is fine. And I'm saying to him, "What are you talking about?" He says, "There's a halfway house in St. Paul." Well, my mind goes in a way. I'm thinking, this guy's sitting in the cafeteria with all the other counselors. I got one in Gelnick. I got one in Fellowship. If I get another guy into a halfway house, I win the trip to Vegas, right? I think he's a commission guy. And I look at him and I said, "What's in it for you?" He says, "There's nothing, man, your life." And if I tell you this was a simple, warm, kind man who finally got through to me, and he let me understand the danger of what I'm dealing with. And I ended up going to that halfway house. Never been to St. Paul in my life. They said you have a month to get a job. And after 25 days, I'm going to movies, going bowling, checking out St. Paul. My counselor says you have another day to get a job, we're throwing you out. So I'm walking down West 7th Street in St. Paul, and I look up and I see a sign that says Day by Day Cafe. I said, "Oh man." So I walk in there, I see the owner. He says, "What are you looking for?" "What type of job?" I said, "I don't know, general manager, what do you got?" "Well, it's kind of a breakfast cafe. I don't have that, but I do have an opening." I said, "Great, what do you got?" He says, "I have a dishwasher opening." He says, "When do you need the job?" I said, "By tomorrow morning." He says, "Have a cup of coffee or 2. So let me know within 10 minutes. I ended up taking the job, and let me tell you, when he said I was the dishwasher, he's right. They didn't have a dishwasher. I was literally the guy washing dishes. And if you've ever been there on a weekend, there's 3,000 people that come in this place. I think I broke more dishes than I got. But there was a time, 3 weeks into that job, where I got a call from one of the partners of the brokerage firm I'm working for in New York. And he said, "David, we fired the branch manager and the sales manager out in La Jolla, San Diego. We need you out there Monday morning." And I said, "Frank, I can't." He says, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm kind of stuck here and I'm working." And then he says, "You're working? What do you mean you're working? I'm still paying you. Who are you working for?" I said, "Frank, it's not in anything what you think about." He says, "Tell me what firm you're with." I said, "I'm not with a firm. I'm doing something else." Long story short, I tell him. I said, "Frank, I'm washing dishes at the Day by Day Cafe in sunny St. Paul." And there's about a 20-second pause. I don't hear anything. And finally he says, "I don't know what kind of drugs you were on here, but they got you on something out there. I don't know what they've done to you. They've drugged you. Get out of the town." I resigned that day. I resigned that day, and I never looked back. And I